Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter.
Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another instalment of the Now Review. And on this occasion we are continuing our journey through the Now Dance series by taking a look at the release from 1992, aptly named of course, Now Dance 92. Now as you can see I have the album on vinyl here, but I also have the album on CD, and I'm going to be talking about both versions and we'll go through that as we progress. I haven't got it on cassette unfortunately, but vinyl and CD's enough. So, first and foremost, let's have a look at this cover. As you can see, the main theme is red. Nice bright red. I do like the 92 font actually, like the thin purple font they've used here. I think that's quite stylish. Shame it's sort of been pushed to the back behind the words Now and Dance, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. The font for Dance, I'm not really digging. I don't know, it just feels a bit tacky. The Now logo, yeah, it's alright. I kind of wish it had all just been one colour. As you can see, there's like brown spats and silver spats there. Kind of wish it had all just been yellow, but again, I'm not a designer. And as you can see at the top there, it says double album, and I'll explain why it specifically feels it has to say that. But no 12-inch dance mixes here, no 20 blissful grooves and that sort of stuff. We'll get into the track list in a minute, but at the bottom it gives you a sample of what artists to expect. You should expect Bizarre Inc., Was Not Was, E17, The Shaman, Utah Saints, Soul to Soul, CC Peniston, U2, Rage, and many more. So with that said, let's turn this on over and take a look at the track list. So here is the track list. We have 30 tracks and we'll see what we've got. We've got Shake Your Head, the 12-inch mix by Was Not Was, Baker Street, the extended mix by Undercover, House of Love, the Pedigree mix by E17, Ebenezer Good, the Beatmaster Club mix by The Shaman, Something Good, the 12-inch mix by the Utah Saints, Das Boot, techno version by U96, I'm Gonna Get You, the original Flavor Mix radio edit by Bizarre Inc., then moving on to side 2, you've got Even Better Than the Real Thing, the Perfecto mix by U2, Connected, full length by Stereo MCs, Voulez-Vous, the ABBA-esque version by Erasure, Money Love, the Perfecto mix by Nina Cherry, Pennies from Heaven, Kevin's Tunnel mix by Inner City, Expand Your Mind, Hendrix 7-inch mix by Wag Your Tail, and Joy, the brand new Heavies mix by Soul to Soul. Now on to Disc 2 Side 1 or Side 3, we've got We Got a Love Thing, the Silky House Thing by CC Peniston, I Love You Smile, the Drizza Bone Club mix by Shanice, Ain't No Man, the Love Mac 12-inch mix by Dina Carroll, Don't Worry About a Thing, the album version by Incognito, Hanging on a String, the Frankie Knuckles radio edit by Loose Ends, Don't Let It Go to Your Head, the 12-inch version by Brand New Heavies, and One Love in My Lifetime, the 7-inch edit by Innocence. Then on side 2 of Disc 2, or side 4, we've got Rock Your Baby, the Boogaloo Investigator mix by KWS, Start Me Up, the radio edit by Salt and Pepper, On a Ragga Trip, the original mix by SL2, I Feel Love, the 7-inch mix by Messiah feat Precious Wilson, So Right, the Pearl edit by K-Class, Back to the Old School edit by Bassheads, Twilight Zone, the 7-inch version by 2 Unlimited, Tetris, the 7-inch mix by Dr. Spin, and Run to You, the Vital Organs mix by Rage. And just so you can tell, this is the 8th release because it says right there, this is Now Dance number 8, the 8th release. So there you go, 30 tracks, which is actually at this point the most tracks featured on a Now Dance album. At this point there'd only been 20 tracks spread across 2 discs, but here you actually get 30 of various lengths. You probably noticed as well when I read those out, a lot of these are, well, I think they all had mixes attached to them, whether it's a 12-inch mix, which is often an extended cut, or the 7-inch mix, which is obviously a shorter radio edit, or just a complete remix by a different artist in general. I think this is the first time that Now Dance specifically did this to all their tracks. Before they just sort of took songs, off the chart and whacked them on an album, whereas here we're starting to actually remix things, we're getting specific dance cuts of things, and I think that shows the progression of the Now Dance brand as a whole. But I'm going to take this out of its sleeve and we're going to open it up. Or at least I would open it up if it was a gatefold. Surprisingly, like Now Dance 91 before it, this is not a gatefold album. I'm quite surprised, especially as it's a double album as well. But I tell you what I will do, I will take out one of the sleeves here, and we will have a look at one of the discs. There you go, Now Dance 92. So you got orange there, that's record 2 side 1 I've pulled out, and it's the same. So all of them will have this orange colour with the white 92 and the black text. So actually, out of the Now Dance series so far, this is probably the most value for money out of the classics from the 80s and 90s. And, well, one reason I'm saying that is because, well, let's look at the CD version. So this is a 1-disc release, this is not 2 discs, and it's got, you know, the same artist that you'd expect. But what you'll notice if you go to the track list is that there is only 20 tracks on here. That's right, the vinyl version actually has 10 more tracks, not just 1 or 2, 10 whole tracks, more than the CD, which I found quite surprising, because in the late 80s, early 90s, when CD was coming in, companies all the time would say, oh, you know, this album's available on both, but if you get the CD, you can have a few more songs, because it could hold about nearly 80 minutes worth of songs. So it's quite interesting that as of 1992, a year where vinyl was, you know, really starting to die out, that they decided to put 10 extra tracks on the vinyl version and not the CD version. That probably explains, though, why some of the tracks on Now Dance 92, the vinyl edition, are 7-inch mixes or like shorter radio edits to try and fit more on each disc. But that's a massive win for vinyl, if you ask me. I can't remember off the top of my head which songs are cut. I know the Inner City one isn't there. And like, for example, there you go, Tetris by Dr. Spin. On the vinyl version, that's the 7-inch version. This might be the normal version. And there's not as many brackets next to things here, like saying, you know, what kind of mixes they are, which leads me to believe a lot of the ones on the vinyl edition are edited in the way that best suits getting more songs on each side. So let's open this up. I'm not going to get the booklet out because there really isn't much to show. That disc is falling out. So there you go, it's a single disc. I actually quite like that design for the disc, nice and colourful and shiny in the way the 90s discs always were. You've got all the tracks on there as well. This is CD Now Dance 8, the 8th release, of course. Yeah, it's just interesting. I can't get over that fact that the CD version, the supposedly superior technology, had 10 less tracks than the vinyl edition. That's, I don't know, it's a bit mad. So with all that in place, what about the selection? Well, going off the vinyl edition, I think the selections are great. This is where 90s dance music was really starting to come into its own. A lot of pop was crossing over into dance. Eurodance was really big at the time, of course. So I think this is one of the most solid Now Dance albums of the entire, like, series, not just the 1990s. If you really like your 90s dance music, and I'm talking, like, really like it, then you'll love Now Dance 92. The cover, funnily enough, always gave me like an impression this was going to be quite like a smooth album, like quite a mellow album, but it's anything but, to be honest. If you want more selection, obviously go for the vinyl edition. You will get more songs, but also be aware there'll be different mixes of each songs on there. The vinyl edition is a bit hard to find. I mean, I picked up mine for about £40, which is the cheapest you're probably going to find it for unless you get a really good deal. Before then, I'd seen it for like 50, 60, £70, so be prepared to pay a little bit more for the vinyl version, but I think, in my opinion, with 10 extra tracks and alternative mixes of things, it's definitely worth it. If you're not too bothered about picking this up on vinyl, you can pick this up on CD as well. The only reason I did was because before I owned the vinyl version, I bought a boatload of Now Dance CDs throughout the years, and I thought, well, for 50p or however much it was, I may as well pick up Now Dance 92. That's an incredibly cheap album to pick up on CD. You can get this on cassette as well. I don't own that per se, and I don't know how much it is, but it is, I'm assuming, readily available. Conclusion, in my opinion, one of the best Now Dance albums of the entire series. But that's all for this installment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it. Let me know in the comments as well. Do you own Now Dance 92? Do you have it on vinyl? Do you have it on CD? Maybe you even have it on cassette or all three formats. Let me know in those comments. A lot of you guys who watch are not subscribed to the channel, so please, if you don't mind, click subscribe with notifications on. It would really help the channel and I would appreciate your support. So subscribe if you're new, and until the next one, I will see you guys next time.
Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Hooks Media, Ben Freeman, Ethan Carberry-Holt, Bruce Danton, The Broken Kitsumanoid, and Francine Salazar, our AMTV staff members.